Hey everyone, let's give this a few seconds so we can let everybody sign on. We'll get started shortly. Hello and welcome. I'm Daniel Harkavy, CEO and founder of Building Champions, and I want to thank you for joining today's webinar, How to Partner Human Intelligence Alongside Artificial Intelligence. For the past 30 years, my team and I at Building Champions have coached tens of thousands of leaders, across all industries. And right now, AI is at the center of every leadership conversation we're having. We're living in what's being called the new economy, a landscape fundamentally reshaped by digital technology and artificial intelligence. And when the way we work changes, the skills and the strategies we leaders need in order to lead well, they must adapt to. And there's a narrative out there that AI does everything better than we humans do. And I don't believe that's true. I think the reality is more nuanced. AI is a powerful accelerator, but it's not a replacement for human leadership. It can generate answers and options quickly, but it can't bring discernment or relational influence or emotional intelligence or trust into the room. So today, we'll talk about how to integrate AI with confidence so it strengthens performance, protects the culture and connection your team depends on, and keeps your organization on the right side of both the opportunity and the risk. So let's get going. There are two common fear-based reactions to AI. The first is avoidance. This threatens me, I don't get it, so I'm out. And the second is an over-reliance. This is amazing, it's magic, so I'm just going to hand over the leadership keys to it. And both are understandable, but neither's leadership. Here's the mindset that I believe works. Human plus AI, not human versus AI. AI can process information at scale, but it can't replace emotional intelligence, relational trust, or influence. The ability to move people toward alignment, ownership, and action. AI can provide an answer, but it can't build conviction. It can generate language, but it can't generate trust. It can suggest options, but it can't read the room. So our goal is partnership that accelerates productivity. And with human wisdom, it's beautiful. Let's start with self-leadership and 3 practices to incorporate. Practice number 1 is strengthen your critical thinking. AI is a tool, and tools require skill and wisdom. The first practice is refusing to outsource discernment. And here's what at stake. AI can be wrong. It can sound authoritative and be factually inaccurate. It can generate language that is legally risky, culturally tone deaf, or simply not aligned with your convictions. And I have stories here that absolutely show and demonstrate that this is true. And unfortunately, some of those stories are my own, where we at Building Champions on our leadership team, we at times have had an over-reliance on AI. And as a result of it, what I've noticed is that a very high trust team has lost some trust because, one group uses AI to make a position or take a stance, and then it comes over to the other, and then the other uses AI to respond. And the next thing you know, no kidding, it's a mess. And, you're having to bring in an attorney and say, hey, just take all of this and make it right. And it costs money and it wastes time, and you lose some trust and some goodness that's in the tank. So we have to be careful here. AI doesn't know our specific context. It doesn't understand our relationships or the full weight of what a decision actually carries. So every time you use AI, build in a moment of inspection and ask yourself, is this accurate? What's missing? What's the risk legally, reputationally, relationally, culturally? Make this a practice, not just a precaution. Establish the expectation with your team that AI outputs are always the starting point, never the final answer without some real human review. If AI helps you move faster, but you stop thinking, you haven't improved performance, you haven't improved anything. You've just increased risk. So we can never outsource our critical thinking. That is not leadership. Practice 2. Sharpen your communication. Here's something that is worth paying attention to. If your AI prompt is vague, your output will be vague, just like when working with a team. And if you can't articulate what you want clearly enough for AI to execute, you may not be as clear as you think. This isn't criticism, it's an opportunity. It's true for AI and with humans. AI can serve as a useful diagnostic for your leadership. Before you prompt AI and before you direct your team, define 3 things. What do I want? Why do I want it? And what does being done look like? The leaders who get the most out of AI are the ones who bring the most clarity to it. That's not a technology skill. That is a human leadership skill. If you've not read the book, The AI-Driven Leader by Jeff Woods, and you want to learn how to improve your prompts, I would suggest you read this. It's a good read. It's a real good read. All right, let's move to practice number 3. Deepen your self-awareness. Here's something AI will never be able to do. Walk into a room, read it. It can't sense the tension in the conversation. It can't notice when someone says, "I'm fine," but means something totally different. It can't pick up the hesitation before someone answers a question or the look two colleagues give when a decision is announced. You can. That presence, the ability to be fully attentive, emotionally attuned, and aware of what's happening beneath the surface is one of your greatest leadership assets. And it becomes even more valuable, not less, as AI takes over more of the analytical work. So as you build your AI fluency, invest equally in upgrading your self-awareness, no matter how good you are. The leaders who thrive in this environment won't just be the ones who know how to use AI. They'll be the ones who know what AI can't see or can't do. Let's now shift from self to team leadership. Okay. We're not just responsible for our own growth. We all know that. We're responsible for how our people experience this AI change. So there are 3 practices for leading others to best benefit from AI. Practice 1, reduce fear with clarity. Fear grows in silence. Many people are quietly wondering if they'll be replaced or left behind. And we all know, we read the news, the updates, some will, but the most helpful thing you can do right now as a leader is to create clarity and psychological safety. You might say, AI will change some of how we work, but our goal is not to diminish people. It's to equip people. We will learn together and we will be clear about our intentions and our expectations. When people feel safe, they learn. When they don't, they spend energy, wasted energy, worrying about things instead of growing and innovating. And let's take that clarity a step further. Develop a clear narrative around your organization's AI use, both internally and externally. What's the story being told inside and outside of your organization? Are your customers and partners clear on how you're using AI? A strong communication strategy reduces fear, builds trust on both sides, and we need to revisit it regularly because we know that this technology is evolving fast and it will most likely impact how we're doing what we're doing. So when that takes place, we need to upgrade as well, or update, our communication plans. All right. Practice 2, a building champion's conviction, model lifelong learning. If we leaders treat AI as a test, then people will often, they'll want to hide mistakes. They'll be afraid of failing. So instead, what we want to do is we want to treat AI like learning. If it's learning, then people will engage. We build a rhythm where experimentation is normal, and so is accountability. So we ask questions like this: what did we try? What worked? What didn't work? What did we learn? And what do we need to adjust? Invest in learning and development so your people can upskill AI. And equally important, remind them to keep strengthening the human-based skills that technology will never replace. That combination builds capability and culture at the same time. All right, practice 3. We need to reinforce uniquely human skills. This is the heart of it. AI will accelerate work, but it cannot replace the human capabilities needed in a high-performing team or a healthy culture. AI can't read the body language in a tense room, as I've said. It can't sense the hesitation in someone's voice. It can't build trust over time. It can't hold that hard conversation with empathy and with courage. It can't transfer belief. It can't model ethical judgment when the right decision is complicated. So as you develop your AI fluency, double down on emotional intelligence, on executive presence, on connection, on ethical leadership. That's how you build performance that lasts. Let's talk about what we're trying to achieve here. Here's where leaders can often drift. They implement AI because everybody is, they believe they should, but they haven't really anchored it to a strategy or to a real opportunity. A better filter is, does this help us to better serve our customer or achieve our organizational vision? If the answer is no, we may not yet want to invest. For most organizations, AI initiatives should connect to one of two strategies or business outcomes. One, the first, is it should increase anything tied to top-line revenue, to marketing, messaging, sales conversations, productivity, speed to execution. Or two, it should decrease expenses by optimizing processes or reducing friction or eliminating waste in back-end operations. And there's a third lens that I think is critical. How could we use AI to create an even better wow experience for our customers? What's possible now that wasn't possible before? The organizations that will truly differentiate themselves won't just use AI to cut costs. They'll use it to anticipate customer needs and deliver value in ways that are memorable and unexpected. So once you've identified the initiative, pressure test it with these questions. What will success look like in 90 or 180 days? And how will we measure it? And who will own the initiative and the measurement? And what's the financial cost? And don't miss this. What's the cultural cost? That last question matters more than most leaders realize. And if you can't answer it, you may want to consider it a bit more before moving forward. What happens if we leaders get this wrong? We got to be honest about the risks. We can over-rely on AI and slowly outsource our thinking. We can avoid hard conversations by hiding behind AI-generated messages, or we can chase efficiency and unintentionally damage culture. And there's the risk. We don't talk about this risk enough. It's the unintended consequences of fear. If people believe they're going to be replaced, they will lose heart, they will disengage, they will quietly quit, performance will drop, and culture will weaken. So we have to count the cost. We have to take the long view. Efficiency gains without cultural health are not a win. All right, so let's close with this. When you get the human plus AI partnership right, here's what it can look like. Your team will be moving faster and thinking more and better. Your culture will be stronger because your people will feel equipped, not threatened. Your customers will be experiencing something differentiated because you're using AI to anticipate their needs, not just cut your costs. And you, as a leader, are spending more time on the work that you and only you can do. Those high trust conversations, the strategic bet decisions, the moments require the human in the room. AI handles the routine. You lead what matters most. That is what a true force multiplier looks like. If you take one thing from me today, let it be this. AI is powerful, but only when partnered alongside your human intelligence. If you'd like help clarifying your organization's AI strategy and narrative, or leadership development priorities, or team adoption and how to move forward with this, we'd love to support you through coaching. You can scan the QR codes on the screen to learn more about us, and you can schedule a complimentary discovery call. I hope that this has been valuable for you and that you've taken at least one thing away that you can implement or ponder. We're here for you. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care.